Hello guys and welcome back to Car Obsession. Now then, cleaning car windows, isn't it all just a pane in the glass? Get it? Pane, like window pane, glass. Is this thing on? Anyway, that aside, yes, my point is, cleaning car windows can sometimes be the bane of your life. You think it's all nice and crystal clear, and then you see a smear. Hopefully the products in this video will help that, but which one is the winner? Keep watching to find out. As you can see, I'm joined by Leo, my very own Mk2 SEAT Leon Cupra. Yes, I do name my cars, deal with it. And upon the windscreen, there is a healthy smorgasbord of various glass cleaning products. So at the cheapest end of the scale, we have the CarPlan Screen Clean, and all the way to the most expensive, we have the Chemical Guys Streak-Free Window Clean Glass Cleaner. That's a mouthful, isn't it? I think that's where all the money is, just the marketing for that label. Now I will go through the prices in a bit more detail in due course, but just to introduce the competitors for this battle, as I've mentioned, we have at the very low end the CarPlan Screen Clean, bit of a tongue twister that. You have the Halfords Glass Cleaner, just there. The Wax ClearVue Glass Cleaner. This is a bit of a wild card because this isn't really available on the retail market, although you can find it in various places, but this is the Quantum Glass Cleaner. This is more of a trade product, but it was knocking about in my garage, so I thought I would include it in the test regardless. And then we have the Finesse Essentials Glass Cleaner, which is a relatively new product to the range from Finesse. Then we have Rain-X, which I'm sure many of you will know about. Then we have the Stjarnagloss Glass, or Glas, the Autoglym Fast Glass, the Sam's Detailing Glass Cleaner, which again is another bit of a wild card entry, much like the Quantum Glass Cleaner. The reason why I say this is a wild card entry is because this is actually a taster bottle, therefore I can't really test the ease of use because this hasn't got a trigger. It's more of a it's just a little taster one, but I thought I've got this in the garage, so I may as well include it in the test, and it makes it 12 products, so it is a nice even number. Then we've got the Halfords Advanced Glass Cleaner, the Meguars Perfect Clarity Glass Cleaner, and then, yes, rounding everything off, you have the Chemical Guys Streak-Free Window Clean Glass Cleaner. Words, just words, too many. Anyway, so before we move forward, let me get my whiteboard of truth, or whiteboard of judgment, should I call it. A relatively new addition to the Car Obsession roster. Now, normally in a car cleaning product, I would include things such as scent or smell. Bit of a tenuous one, I know, but I'm not really going to do it on this test because, let's face it, a lot of glass cleaners smell the same. Not many have got a particularly nice scent to them. They've kind of got that vinegary smell to them, haven't they? Anyway, talk amongst yourselves. So I'll be with you in about 3 hours whilst I get this out. So this will be a bit wordy, so you have to bear with me. Okie dokie, so kick off with price. This is like anything in life, price is going to be a key factor when it comes to selecting a product. So we start off with the bargain basement option, which is the CarPlan Screen Clean. Bit of a tongue twister. So this is £3, just £3 for this 500 milliliter bottle. In fact, I've just spotted this one is actually 750 milliliters. Look, it says extra value on it. Oh, extra value. So yeah, this is actually 750 milliliters, but for the purpose of this segment, for 500 milliliters, you're looking at a very respectable £3, meaning that for a litre of the product, you'll be looking at just £6. This is available from Sainsbury's. I don't think it's available elsewhere from what I saw on the Tinternet. We move on to the Halfords Glass Cleaner, which is £4.99 for 500 milliliters, meaning for a litre of the product, you're looking at, again, a very respectable £9.98. For the Wax ClearVue, for 500 milliliters, that is £5.75. So for a litre, that would be £11.50. Just a quick one. if you're ordering this online, these prices do not include any shipping or postage, so it's worth bearing in mind. Let me go up to the Quantum Glass Cleaner, which, as I may have said by now, is more of a trade product, but it is available online as a retail product. For 750 millilitres, it's a random £8.81, including VAT, meaning for a litre, you'll be looking at £11.75. The Auto Finesse Essentials Glass Cleaner, for 500 millilitres, that's £7.95, meaning for a litre, you'll be looking at £15.90. The Rain-X for 500 ml is £7.99, so for a litre it would be £15.98. The Stjarnagloss glass, for per 500 millilitres, that's £9, so for a litre it would be £18. For the Autoglym fast glass, it's £9.50 for 500 ml, meaning for a litre you would be looking at £19. The Sam's Detailing, granted that's a little taster, but for a 500 ml bottle, you'd be looking at, where are we, £10, and which means for a litre you're looking at £20. Then we move into the Halfords Advanced Glass Cleaner, which is more expensive than I would have thought given its current company. The Halfords Advanced Glass Cleaner is £11 for 500 ml, which I think is quite pricey for an own brand product. So meaning for a litre, you'll be looking at £22. Then we move into the Meguars Perfect Clarity Glass Cleaner. That is, so for that 473 millilitre spray, because it's American, it's 16 fluid ounces, that works out to be £13.79. So for a litre, that would make it a little over £29. So yeah, a fair bit. And then we finish off with, I should say, the Chemical Guys streak-free, I'm not going to say the full name, it's too long, I haven't got enough time in the video. That is a whopping £14.69 for 16 fluid ounces, which in the UK equates to 473 millilitres, meaning for a litre of the stuff, you're looking at around £31. Yeah, expensive stuff. Now, I'm filming this on the 15th of August, 2025, and the prices are correct at the time of filming. So, what does it do to the scores? Well, it's pretty simple, really. What we would do is Screen Clean gets 12, then Halfords Glass Cleaner gets 11, then, well, I'm pretty sure you've worked it out, but 9. So to try and make this test as fair as possible and stop any cross-contamination of products which could potentially skew the results, for the sections I'm not using at any given time, as you can see, I put paper floor mats over the rest of the windscreen. Therefore, the product I'm applying will only hit this part, and any residue or overspray will not go into any of the other panels. On top of that, I will be using a separate cloth for each product, again to avoid cross-contamination and to try and make this as fair as possible. So, I've purposely left the windscreen as dirty as possible. We had some rain a few days ago and it's made the car very dusty. So, probably want to use the short pile side for this, I'd say. Okie dokie, so if I get you a bit closer to the action. So as you can see, well, the whole windscreen is dusty, but on this particular bit, you've also got a bit of tree sap as well for the CarPlan to contend with. Now, what I'm going to be testing, of course, I'm going to be testing the actual effectiveness on the product, whether there's any streaks, but also how ergonomic and easy it is to use. So just from the get-go, you've got a nice grip within the handle, within the neck of the bottle, so that's quite nice. And the trigger itself feels quite nice. The trigger feels quite nice in the hand. So let's just see how it operates. Okay, a bit more agitation needed to get bits of those tree sap. Now, I should really be lifting the wiper and doing the bit underneath that, but the wiper's currently holding these other floor mats in place, so I won't do that. Right, so give it a good old wipe. That side, so you can see, quite dirty. And then with the other side, buff off. The cloth is gliding over the surface, which is pleasant. That's done a pretty good job, you know. For the cheapest product here, I thought this was going to be a bit naff. I'm not really going to score the products and smell. This hasn't really got much of a smell, much to my surprise. With this being a cheaper product, I thought this was going to smell quite nasty. But yeah, hasn't really got much of a smell that I can detect. And I would say that's done a good job. I'm going to get my smaller camera just to get you a little bit closer to the action. So as you can hopefully see, I can't see any streaks. That I'd say has done a sterling job. Much to my surprise, I thought that's going to be a bit naff, but yeah, I'm happy with that. Right then, on to the next patch, which for this we'll be using the Halfords glass cleaner. So lightly spray. Okay, I'd say that'll do. Just work that in. Again, this product doesn't seem to have a smell as such. Right, it's a little bit of sap there, which is dealt with absolutely fine. Right, so, right, allowed to dry naturally, Aaron. Don't buff it. Don't buff it. I will read. I will do as the instructions tell me. So, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it has left behind some residue, and it does need to be. Yeah, it does need to be buffed off. So, I'd say where it says allowed to dry naturally, I wouldn't do that because actually there's quite a large smear up there. So if I get you on my large camera, sorry, if I get you on my little camera, I should say, it's difficult to get on camera, but there's a smear right there. It's difficult to get it in the right light, but I believe it's there. You can just see a bit of a smear there as well, just where my finger is, and yeah, it's left a residue there. So yeah, where it says allowed to dry naturally, no, I'm not having that. To be fair, the streaks do come out quite easily, but yeah, you will need to buff it off. There's a bit there. So yeah, Halfords glass cleaner, it's okay. I'd say that's definitely a case of you get what you pay for. So let's pop that to one side. Oh, actually, let's just talk about the trigger. So again, like the CarPlan, you do have a nice moulded neck, and the trigger is nice to use. You have got a moulding in the neck, but it's not really as finger grippy, if that makes sense, as the two previous products. So to hold in the hand, just do it left-handed because it's easier at this point. Yeah, it's not quite as ergonomic, but I wouldn't say it's bad. Yeah, the trigger feels a little bit slimmer on this, but I mean, you know, I'm getting into the realms of pedantry here. Apparently, this removes tobacco stains, finger marks, and grime. I'm guessing they mean more for the inside of the vehicle, because if you're getting tobacco stains outside the car, I'd argue something's gone a bit wrong. Now, this is interesting. So, unlike the previous two products, you spray this on and leave it for a minute. I've never seen that on a glass cleaner. Okay, well, it says it's streak free. Is it though? But they have spelt vue, V-U-E, because they're down with the kids, they're hip, they're fresh. Yeah, anyway. All right, let's actually apply this product, stop mucking about. Right, so use sparingly. Let's go for 2 sprays. Oh, hello. You can tell it's not been used. There we go. Oh, it actually went for three sprays. So we'll leave it for a minute. Seems a little bit odd on glass, but that's what it says. That's what we go with. It says it should be streak free. I don't know about that so far. Let's try and get... Right, okay, just let that flash for a few moments. Nope, to its credit, I can't see any streaks. Oh, my high-tech floor mat system. It is a bit breezy today. Right, I'll get this taped down. Yeah, that's done a good job. Next up we have the Quantum Glass Cleaner. Now, like I say, this is a bit of a wild card. This is available as a retail product, but it's not as wide. Now, I've been using this product for a while now, just because I've got so much of it, and I like the scent of it. It actually smells quite sweet, but it isn't streak free. So we'll see how we get on with this test. Right, so Right, work that off with one side. Yeah, this one actually smells really nice, which is one of the reasons why it's kind of it's been my go-to. Right, let's put that tape down. But having said that, it isn't always streak free, so just to leave it for a few moments. Okay, it's taken a few moments to flash, but it has left streaks. I don't think you'll be able to see them on my camera because it's a little bit difficult to pick them up, but let's try our best. But yeah, this has left streaks. So, where are we? It's left a streak there, which you can't really see. And it's left a streak in that top right corner, which again, difficult to see on camera, but believe me, it is there. And this is the product, although I've been using it as my go-to recently, this is the product where I find I am chasing my tail, because it looks clear from one angle, you see it from another angle and you can tell it's left streaks, and sometimes they can be a little bit stubborn to get rid of. There's one there which is still lingering. Yeah, so that product is okay. Oh, hand-eye coordination let me down massively there. So that product is okay. I only really use it because I've got so much of it and it smells nice. Is it the best product here? No. The Auto Finesse Essentials Glass Cleaner. I've never used this, so let's see how we get on. Now, the bottle itself, unlike some of the early competitors, there's no moulding on the bottle or the neck for your hand to wrap around, but the trigger is quite nicely designed. It's quite wide. I'll just get it into focus. It's quite a wide trigger, and this bit is kind of not perforated, that's the wrong word, but it's a rougher texture, so it's got more of a grip on it. So I like that. That's quite well thought out. I like the CarPlan one. The cloth is gliding a bit more over the surface, flashing quite quickly as well. It's got rid of that tree sap. Bit of put on it with ease. Right, is there any streak? I'm just going to look from a different angle. There's a bit of residue left over, but I can't see any streaks. That's done a pretty good job, you know. Strangely, the more I'm buffering it, the more it's streaking. I would have been better off just leaving it as it is. So what are we on to next? We're on to the Rain-X. Now, the good thing about Rain-X is that it's dual purpose. So not only is it a window cleaner, but it's also a rain repellent as well. So that could be an added bonus for you. And it even shows you on here the difference between a treated windscreen and untreated. So in enhancing driving visibility, applies water beading technology. So yeah, now let's have a look at this. It's even got some blurb on the back there. So I've been using Rain-X for quite a long time now. I must confess I haven't used it in a while, but it's really handy in the winter months, particularly for filming purposes, because I can apply some to the lenses on my GoPros, and it helps just to keep the water off it when I'm filming on my exterior GoPros. Now, out of all the products so far, if I'm going to be honest and picky, that isn't the nicest of smells. It smells quite strong. It's yeah, very chemically. Right, okay, so has it left any streaks behind? It's left a bit of residue, but I'd say it's more from that particular cloth. I can't see any streaks though. It's left a bit of residue, but I mean, that can easily be wiped off. I'd say that's more to do with the cloth than anything. Yeah, very good, very good. That might be the current front runner, purely because it's good value and it has the water repellency. The Stjarnagloss glass. Don't know if you heard any of that because I was rustling this floor mat. Now, okay, it's the Stjarnagloss. Now, I'm a big fan of Stjarnagloss, which some of you may know by now, but I do find that their glass cleaner can be a bit smeary. So let's just get you there. Zoomed in. Let's probably bring you guys around a bit more so you can get a Get a better look of what I'm doing. There we go. That's quite a good angle. Right, so it's the Stjarnagloss glass. Now, Cav at Stjarnagloss did last year apologise for the quality of the triggers. Now I've actually got 2 bottles of the stuff. So I've got that one there with that style trigger, and I've got this one here. I must confess I can't remember which is the newer trigger. There we go. I use one side to clean it out. This product's taking a little bit longer to flash off. So it's kind of really clinging onto the glass. It's taken quite some time to evaporate. Okay, I just want to be patient with it. To be fair, that actually hasn't left behind any streaks. I do find that the glass can streak sometimes, but that might just be me, where I'm just not being patient enough to let the product flash. Then it's done a good job. It smells relatively pleasant as well, as glass cleaners go. So what's next? So just get you zoomed in there. Yes, the Autoglym fast glass. So this is the product. Bit of a fan favourite, I'd say. Got many positive reviews on Halfords, but it's Autoglym. They make good stuff. Let's spray a nice bit. Okay, we've got a little bit of sap on there, which it's dealt with a lot of ease. A bit of lenting from the cloth, and let that flash for a few moments. That's flashed extremely quickly, so I can buff off very quickly. So it's buffed off. It's flashed a lot quicker than the Stjarnagloss one. Hasn't got a particularly strong smell to it. It's quite a neutral smelling product. Just coming from this side. Oh, there's a bit of a smear. Hang on a minute. That is a false alarm. That is a smear on the inside of the windscreen. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely on the inside, because no matter what I do, that's not budging. That definitely looks like it's on the other side of the windscreen. So that's done well. Yeah. Oh, this is getting difficult now. Oh, sounds detailing. Okay, this is another wild card. This is one where I can't really comment too much about the trigger, because it hasn't got a trigger. It's a sample spray, but because it was in the garage, I thought I would test it regardless. Now, I have used the Sam's detailing glass cleaner before. It's just here, like I said, it's just a sample one, focus, and I wasn't a big fan of it. It's more of a gel, right? Yeah, not really going to have the same kind of spray pattern, because it is from a tester. Like I said, this is more of a wild card entry, because I had it in the garage. I thought, as I'm doing a glass cleaner test, it makes sense to use it. Right, so straight lines. Yeah, it's quite a thick product. It doesn't feel quite as watery as the others. It is a gel. I'm just going to give it a few moments to flash off, which it's doing so relatively quickly. You might not be able to see it on camera. Right, I can't see from that side, so I've got to approach the other side of the car to see if it's left behind any streaks, which it has. Quite a few, actually. So if I'm going to be honest, out of everything tested so far, that is the most streaky. Actually, I'm going to show you the streaks now. I'm going to buff it off and see how they improve. But when I use this glass cleaner, so you can see there's streaks there. They're streaking towards the top, which you can't quite see as much. Just try and get it from a different angle. But yeah, it's definitely streaking happening for most of the panel. And I did find that the Sam's detailing product did need to be buffed in a fair bit more, but Yeah, see, this is the problem I had last time. I mean, it's not uber difficult to buff off, but it needs a bit more elbow grease than the others, and more than I think you should need for a glass cleaner. I mean, a glass cleaner shouldn't require that level of work. Yeah, I'm sorry it sounds detailing, but yeah, it's my least favourite product, and that's why I've only got a taster. I've never committed to the full fat product because I'm just not a fan, guys. I'm sorry. So we move on to the second of Halfords offerings, the advanced glass cleaner. Oh, that's not a good start. Yeah, the trigger has dripped all over my hand. Not what you'd expect from one of the more expensive products here. Let's just lift that up so really get into the nooks and crannies. Okay, flashing relatively quickly. To its credit, it's not leaving behind any streaks. It's just to clean that bit a bit better. I might kind of missed that bit with the cloth. Performance-wise, it is good. I'll buff it off. That has done a very good job. No streaks. Yeah. I mean, the spray pattern kind of dripped on my hand a bit, but so I just need to step my way past the camera. That has done a good job. I can't take anything away from that. I just think for what it is, it's too pricey. So that leaves two products. The ones from the US of A, Meguars and Chemical Guys. Now, interestingly, I know you can't see me, but you can still hear me. Interestingly, I have never tried anything from Chemical Guys. I've heard mixed things about them. But anyway, we're not going to get onto the Chemical Guys just yet, because before that we have the Meguars. And this trigger style is actually similar to the Stjarnagloss one, although the actual trigger itself is slightly different. So the trigger's got a kind of satin finish on it, which helps to give a bit more grip. And once more, you do have the grips in the bottleneck for better use. Now this used to be my go-to for a long time. From what I can remember, this stuff smells pretty nice as well. I mean, that's not the be-all and end-all of a car cleaning product. Nice spray, not dripping onto my hands. Yeah, and that product has actually got quite a nice smell to it. Again, it's, oh, yeah, out of the products, that's the best smelling. So maybe I will do a bonus round for smell. Who knows? But yeah, when it comes to smell alone, that stuff smells glorious. Flashing really nicely, really quickly. And are there any streaks? No, it wasn't really a streak, it's more just a residue of product. That is fantastic. Moving to the big guns, and again, this trigger seems quite similar to the Stjarnagloss one. I would say the actual trigger itself is quite streamlined. It's quite a slim trigger. First time ever using a Chemical Guys product, so I'm extremely intrigued. Nice trigger action. Trigger's got a nice weight to it. Right, clean with one side. Lift it up like so. The product flashes quite quickly, and true to its word, it is streak free. I was expecting a bit more of a smell with this being Chemical Guys. I don't know. I was expecting it to have a bit of an aroma like the Meguars, but it has no smell at all. That's not a bad thing. I mean, it has worked well, but it is expensive. Let's move things on and talk about spray patterns and ergonomics. The screen clean fits nicely in the hand and the spray pattern is decent. It's not the cleanest of sprays though, because as you can see in the slow-mo, there is a little bit of after spray after the initial spray. The Halfords glass cleaner also falls nicely into the hand, and although there is a little after spray, it looks to be a little bit better compared to the screen clean. The Turtle Wax scored the lowest, as I found the bottle didn't fall nicely into the hand, and I wasn't a massive fan of the trigger either. It's also a bit of after spray as well. The Auto Finesse doesn't have a moulded neck like some of the other products on test, but is ergonomic enough not to cause any problems. This product also had a bit of afterspray as well. The Rain X falls nicely into the hand and it has a decent spray, but as you can see on the slow-mo there is some afterspray. Having said that, this is still good enough to make it my winner in regards to spray pattern and ergonomics of the bottle. Stjarnagloss has a nice clean spray with no afterspray, but despite the new design to the trigger, it still isn't the most ergonomic to use, and I still think the trigger needs improving. Although it performed well in the other areas, I find the rectangular design of the Autoglym bottle not to be the most ergonomic, and as you can see, it hasn't got the cleanest of spray patterns either. The Halfords Advanced Glass Cleaner offers a decent spray pattern, although there is a bit of afterspray, and it isn't quite as ergonomic to use as other products in this test. Not the cleanest spray pattern from the Meguars, but its ergonomics helped to improve its score. I found the chemical guys a little bit cumbersome to hold, and as you can see, the spray pattern isn't the best either. So then, time to tot up the scores. As you may have noticed, the sun is fading, I had to do a few family duties, and I needed a bit of time to calculate all this and tot it all up. So, now I know I mentioned earlier that I wouldn't score the products and smell, but when I was testing the spray pattern, I did find that quite a few of them did have a certain smell to them. So I thought, actually, let me score that. I fully appreciate it's quite a tenuous thing to score, it's subjective, and just because a cleaning product smells good doesn't mean it is good. And I would argue that's kind of the case for the Quantum Glass Cleaner, but we will get onto that in a few moments. So to kick off with the CarPlan Screen Clean, that scored really, really highly. Not only is it a very cheap product, but it was actually very effective. And when those two things go hand in hand, you've got a strong product. So that scored a total of 62 points. Very, very good. We move on to the Halfords Glass Cleaner. Very good price. Spray pattern is good. It's quite ergonomic in the hand. The smell is average. It didn't really have a smell as such, but it fell down on the performance and it had a bit of a streaky nature to it. However, because it is such a cheap product, I scored it a 10 for value, and that gave it a score of 44. Just to go back to the CarPlan, that had, again, it didn't really have a smell, very good performance, no streaks, and stonking value. So that's why it scored so highly. Onto the Turtle Wax ClearVue. Now, really and truly, is this a product I would buy with my own money? No, although I did buy it with my own money for this video. For what it's worth, actually, I hopefully would have said it as a disclaimer. Everything in this video has been paid for with my own money. None of this is sponsored. The Turtle Wax, so good price. So I wasn't a big fan of the spray. The trigger didn't feel that great. The bottle didn't feel that ergonomic in the hand. Didn't smell particularly good. I know it's a glass cleaner, but you get my point. Performance wasn't very good. But it didn't leave behind any streaks. Value wise, I marked it as a 9, so although certain parts of the product weren't fantastic, it was able to score a pretty strong 43 points. We move on to the Quantum Glass Cleaner, which is one of the better smelling products here. I couldn't test the spray pattern because I had it in a vessel, a spray bottle that wasn't designed for that product. Well, I say it wasn't designed, sorry, let me rephrase that. That product wouldn't normally come in that bottle because I was just using a generic empty spray bottle for that purpose. Yeah, that scored 19. No score for the spray pattern because it wasn't applicable. It streaked and its overall performance was actually pretty poor. Now, the only reasons this has been my go-to glass cleaner in recent weeks is because A, I've got so much of it, I just need to burn through it. B, it smells good. I know it's a very tenuous reason. And C, because I was planning to film this test, I didn't want to burn through all my other glass cleaners and have none left for this test. So yeah, Quantum Glass Cleaner, poor result. But you move on to the Auto Finesse Essential Glass Cleaner. For what it's worth, Auto Finesse do other glass cleaners in their range, which I would have featured, but I didn't want to make this test overcomplicated. So good price. Spray pattern was about middle of the pack. Smelled pretty good actually, to be fair. Performance wasn't the greatest, left a few streaks. Overall value I marked as a 6, and it scored 34. So I'd say it's kind of mid-pack, lower mid-pack. The Rain-X, good price, very good spray, nice ergonomic. Now, to begin with, I said it didn't smell great, but I think it's just some remnants in the trigger where it's been sat for a while. Because when I sprayed it a bit more, the smell improved. So it actually scored relatively high for the smell. Performance, very good. And the good thing about the Rain-X is that it's a rain repellent as well. So it's a 2-in-1 product. That scored 62, so that's tying with the CarPlan Screen Clean. The Stjarnagloss, as some of you will know, I'm a big fan of Stjarnagloss. The spray pattern, the ergonomics of the trigger isn't the greatest. I know Stjarnagloss have tried to improve that, but I still think, in my humble opinion, their triggers need improvement. They don't fall into the hand as nicely as some of the other products on test. Good performance though, no streaks. I think pretty good value. That scored a pretty strong 44. Then we move on to the Autoglym Fast Glass. One of the more expensive products on test. I'm not a massive fan of the ergonomics. To me, at least, the bottle and the spray doesn't, the bottle and the trigger doesn't fall quite as nicely in the hand as the others. That scored 45. So again, another good score. Sam's detailing. As I said earlier, I'm a big fan of that product anyway. When I tried it previously. No score for the spray pattern because it's a tester one. Like I say, the Sam's detailing and the Quantum, they were really wild cards in this test. I just thought I'd include them because I had them in the garage. Sam's detailing, that scored 17. So yeah, it's the lowest scoring product here. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm sorry. I mean, I've used some of other Sam's detailing's products. Be quiet. I have used some of the other Sam's detailing products and they've been pretty strong. So I just want to make sure that was recording. I worried for a moment that wasn't recording. Yeah, overall, not a big fan of the Sam's detailing glass cleaner, but some of their other products are much better. The Halfords Advanced Glass Cleaner, that actually scored 38. If it was a cheaper price point, it would have done better in this test. But I think for what it is, it's just a bit too pricey for my liking. Then we move on to the Meguars Perfect Clarity Glass Cleaner. Very good product, easy to use, smells fantastic. In fact, I actually put it as the best smelling product. No, where are we actually? I put it as the best smelling product here. And that scored 43, so very good indeed. And then we finish off with the Chemical Guys, long name that I can't bother to say. That scored 32. It would have scored better if it was just better value and better priced. So what does that mean after all that? Well, we have a tie when it comes to the winners. We have, I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but the cheapest product here is actually a joint winner with Rain-X. So just goes to show, you don't always need the expensive stuff to get the right result. Now, just for the sake of, actually, let me get onto that in a few months. So second place we had Autoglym Fast Glass. Then we had a joint third as well, which was the Halfords Glass Cleaner and the Stjarnagloss Glass. Now, given the choice, I would choose the Stjarnagloss product, but the reason why the Halfords Glass Cleaner, the cheaper Halfords Glass Cleaner, because that tied was just because of its sheer value. I think the Stjarnagloss is a better product, but it's more expensive, so that's why they tied. Now, for those of you going, well, what if I don't care about the smell of my glass cleaner? Fair comment. So I did separate scores, taking the smell out of the equation to make it a little less subjective. And the winner was still the CarPlan. That scored 55 points, whereas the Rain-X was second place with 52 points. And then you have joint third between Stjarnagloss Glass, Wax ClearVue and the Halfords Glass Cleaner. But out of those three, I would choose the Stjarnagloss. Now, money no object. If price didn't come into it, what would I personally use? I think the Rain-X is fantastic, and I like the fact that it's a rain repellent. But if money didn't enter into it, I would probably go for the Meguars Perfect Clarity, purely because I think it's a very easy product to use. It works extremely well, and for a glass cleaner, it smells really nice. It's actually really pleasurable to use. But if I'm taking money into the equation, then there we go. You have a joint winner between Rain-X and CarPlan Screen Clean. I wasn't expecting that. Guys, I do hope you have found this video useful or enjoyable, or hopefully both. If you have any questions about any of the products used in this video, or you'd like to share your own thoughts on glass cleaners you've used, or you want to make any recommendations for any future car cleaning product tests, please drop them in the comment section, and I will try and make those videos or answer your questions to the best of my ability as quickly as possible. But yes, if you have enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.